Alright, we are back. H2O is back in, this time with his casting UI that I have. So we're both going to be able to see a lot more of the game and what's going on and bring more information to you about it, I suppose. Digit versus DJ Timothy, game number 2, the first going to Digit. And we will see what their next choice of civilizations are. Of course, Digit can no longer play French. And I believe Timothy can no longer play Russia, as per the tournament rules. Though I do think Digit has to, because he won, he has to select a new civilization first. And then
So
Timothy will be able to select afterwards. Am I correct?
you're correct for the next round. So
Ah,
the new rules are not applying until we get to the next bracket stage. So what we were doing with those is there's gonna be like a coin toss type thing. So it starts off right away with someone picking first and just alternating who's picking first.
yeah.
So
I think,
and then
or you could start with a mirror matchup. I think that's a nice way to start.
the reason why we did that was because we wanted the all the deciding games. So once you get to game point, we wanted all of those to be free choice.
I see,
So
yeah.
that we just basically switched up the order. You can either do the free choice in the beginning or the free choice at the end, and we wanted to try free choice towards
I
the
see.
end.
I like that. I really like the new changes to the rules as well because now with some civilization balance or more balance than perhaps in RE patch, it does mean that more matchups are absolutely okay. And I believe is it still the same that in this case, let's pretend this was the next round. French and Russia are now both disabled for these players, but.
Correct.
But Timothy would still be able to get the second pick, so he can still engineer himself a favourable matchup if he's competent with multiple civs and can pick one that's perhaps good against the one that Diggett picked.
Correct. Yes,
Okay.
it's definitely got its whole own dynamics, right?
Yeah.
Because there's civs that are eliminated, there's the match that are in play, and I'm gonna like for some of my bigger matches, I plan to spend some time actually looking at the map pool and just like between someone else saying, if I pick this, what would you do? And then just you know what I mean, just kind of working it out.
Yeah, just clarifying the rules. They can both change as much as they like, though they cannot play Russia and French. That's the only, or the civs that they just played, they cannot play. That is the only constraining factor here.
Yeah.
So we do have Diggit greening in as Japan versus Germany here. Timothy hasn't clicked in just yet, so perhaps he's not overly happy with this matchup. I can see why the cavalry not going to be hugely useful versus the shrine. Certainly can be, but it looks like he wants to go to the toilet, so we do have some more time to fill. So perhaps he's going to be squeezing one out and deciding what his civilization choice is.
Yeah, exactly. It's always a tough choice. You got kind of it's like Japan's kind of weak on a lot of maps right now, but I mean most people probably won't agree, but Japan does tend to lose to a lot of things,
Hmm.
especially German. But then there's Siberia where no one gets to hunt. So it,
This is true.
it's so funny that we used to just like really try hard to play on this map. But and I used to love this map, but that was when I was playing only Japan mirrors. So
Only
this map
Japan mirrors the way
this
to.
map is awesome for Japaners, by the way, because you have, there's good mines and good berries in your base, and a lot of hunts to put shrines on, even if you can't actually walk your villagers that far out.
Yeah, so absolutely a nice pick from Diggett there playing Japan. Timothy could mirror it if he wants to, if he's depends how competent or comfortable he is as a player with Japan as to whether or not he'll take that mirror matchup. But currently he is relieving himself. Perhaps during that time he will come to a decision on what civilization he'd like to play. But just to reiterate about the civilization changes, I think it's really good because I believe the spring tournament and the summer tournament, they did towards like the end start creating matchups that were very predictable, and some of the finals was just mirror matchup after mirror matchup after mirror matchup, which is expected in competitive play. I understand that, but and also even if it wasn't a mirror matchup, you'd have those very standard picks like Japan, French, India, and China on on some maps like Tibet. And
Yeah, yeah.
what this does, this new dynamic, is changes it so there will be more variety inherently, and I think that's an excellent thing in a tournament format for Age of Empires 3, as there are a lot of civilizations to play, and I do think that'll be an interesting dynamic, especially with the changes to balance that have been addressed in the patch. It looks like he's thrown Sue down.
I like that actually. Suit is really well against Japan. If you just go like Axe Rider, Wakina. it's surprising. When I played Sue like after I lost to Black Star Sue, I played like 50 games of Sue, and I was just wrecking Japan with just making X Riders and Lakina. So.
Well, okay. All right, let's jump into this game then. Game number 2 in this best of 3 series between Djigit and DJ Timothy. H2O says that he's quite comfortable playing as Sue versus Japan in this matchup. Djigit is comfortable clicking into it, so he saw the Sue come out and he chose to click in anyway, so he's happy playing Japan on this map no matter what, and I completely understand that. Of course, we all know Japan, very strong civilization on Siberia due to the size of the damn thing and the widespread place that you can build your shrines all around the map where it's hard for your opponent to get to them because they're all spread out, and of course there are plenty of hunts absolutely everywhere. On the Siberian plains for you, of course, to lay those shrines down in the first place with, I suppose. Let's take a look, though, at the Japanese player. Here he is, starting in the south of the map, and, well, playing as Japan, clearly. Let's take a look at the treasures nearby. A 50 wood treasure in his base. Going to be pretty happy about that, because, of course, he is Japan. Absolutely going to help him get that consulate down a little bit sooner, and, of course, those shrines up, and has another 40 wood treasure nearby as well. Does he notice it? Yes, he does. And there he goes. The Explorer is going to head on over and grab that. Any other treasures nearby? A 80 food treasure down there as well. A pretty good treasure. Maybe that's, of course, Rickshaw will find it. But spawning in the north of the map, in the color blue, we do have the Sioux. Also spawning with a 40 wood treasure in his base. It is fair, but not going to be as useful to him at all. Does find 45 coin and an 80 coin treasure as well. Also, actually that will be useful. I believe Sioux units do cost coin.
Yeah, they do. I mean, it will be useful for sure. Because they're going to age up with it, but it's not as useful as wood. Right now, they want to both be getting wood and they want to be getting TPs. Well, not the Japan guy, but the Sioux guy's looking to probably get that TP lineup.
By TP.
On the side of the map.
Yeah, we mean trading post for those that aren't, not exactly. The actual TP that you can build, like the hut as Sioux, which I think is worth pointing out.
Oh, that's true. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, like there's a little, I think, like, because there's a lot of new people. I noticed like 4 times the number of people that I normally would be subscribed to my channel, so quadruple numbers, and I think a lot of new people are joining the game recently, which is very nice to see. But yes, continue.
Yeah, and I'm glad that you mentioned that because I'm glad that we're getting a lot of new people watching the game. I think we've got a pretty cool game going here. So. But yeah, so what I was gonna say is you want to get the trade post, the trade post line, and ideally make it stagecoach as to just because you're trying to kind of buy a little bit of time to get set up in Fortress, so that way Japan's economy doesn't just pull away on you.
Yeah.
And look at this Djigit just forgot his 80 food. I think he's just generously donated.
The doorbell just rang, and I think I ought to.
I got it covered. Good.
All right, I will leave the screen on Japan.
All right. Right. So I have no idea where the screen is, but right now the Sioux Explorer, I'll just do a play-by-play since I'm sure you guys can't really see anything. The Sioux Explorer got distracted a bit by Djigit's Japanese Explorer, which is kind of good for him because he's still forgotten this 80 food, but based on the way that everything's kind of panning out, I'm pretty sure that eventually Sioux is going to take that 50 food for himself.
All right, what are you looking at?
I don't know what we're looking at. I was just talking about the 80 food and...
right, I see. Which he hasn't picked up.
Yeah, he forgot it.
Yeah, I think he was in such a hurry to put that house down, the shrine there for his population because, he might pop cap himself. He had both guys on there. And then, obviously there was no one nearby who can pick that up. But said completely forgot, so that's not too good.
Yeah, so luckily for him, the Explorer that we see in combat right now had distracted DJ Timothy enough to not have him walk over there. But I think his Tiger definitely saw it because even... The funny thing is here, this shrine will like reveal the treasure too. Like when you see the shrine the first time, it might even reveal the treasure a little bit.
Yeah.
It's about close there, so.
Yeah, he'll see that and go back later, hopefully, or perhaps the Sioux Explorer will. Perhaps find his way over there. He moves pretty quick, so anything could happen.
He's getting another wood treasure.
Yeah, look at that, using the town center to tank the damage as well.
Interesting. It turns though, so. Unfortunately, not as helpful as you and I both thought it was going to be.
Yeah, the outpost would have been a better... I don't think it turns if you use the outpost. Or no, you could just use the outpost to kill the Guardian, but it's probably not in range.
Yeah, it still isn't bad. boy.
Yeah. Well, that's the early game, I suppose. A nice few. So let's get up to date here. We do have Japan, of course. Went with the Portuguese consulate and got sent that heavenly kami shipment, I believe. Yes, there it is. Reducing the cost of his shrines twice over. In fact, all of his buildings because of the Portuguese. And this big shogunate shrine that he's now aging up with is going to, of course, stack all of the shrine benefits and make them very, very efficient. So that's Japan's plan, as we all know, just covering it for the early game. And the Su, here he is now aging up. He is definitely going up very quickly there with the... Oh, no, it's not the age up fast option. It's not.
No. Yeah, usually Su ages up with 400 wood. They don't have very many villagers.
Yeah, still up quickly, though.
Yeah, up quickly for sure. But as a result, they need to get some crates in because they just don't have the economy to sustain without them. And yeah, he definitely knows this food here. No, he doesn't. This food treasure is just an interesting. I gotta stop focusing on it. It doesn't even matter anymore.
You're like, oh god, go pick it up. It's so frustrating.
I just want someone to get it. It's just sitting there. Just take it, please.
Yeah. Oh dear. I saw that in the first game with Yumiyu. Someone forgot about their treasure. I believe it was a 60 wood treasure.
Oh yeah, here we go. I'm about to be relieved.
Yeah.
It's like scratching an itch that you just...
He went and got it. That ate you food.
Yeah, there we go.
He's alright, yeah.
Okay, I can move on now. I have this feeling that Stagecoach is actually being tech. Oh, maybe not. Never mind. He doesn't have the wood in yet.
Yeah, it's not in queue just yet. I'm on the text being researched.
Yeah, he's not.
But Su, his early game agenda's a bit different. It's just age up as fast as possible. He has, got his 400 wood. He's now laying down, all the trading routes with it. And could potentially be getting the Stagecoach upgrade, as H2O is alluding to. 700 coin on the floor there, though, and has been gathering, really nothing but food. So this looks like he might have a Fortress Age agenda in mind, especially considering the lack of military building here. I mean, certainly has 200 wood, and he's exactly gathered that, 201 wood there, and I imagine that is for the Stagecoach upgrade. But otherwise, this looks like he's gearing up to go into the Fortress Age.
Yeah, and the only thing that's kind of this build's like close to being correct. The only thing that you would do that's slightly different is but you would actually build that stable straight away and do 4 cav semi, just so that way you can be on the map and denying all these shrines from going down, because you have such fast cavalry, you can easily deny everything. So.
Yeah, especially with that explorer, right? Just run around, kill those buildings, even pick up the monks. If you can kill those, you're in a very good spot, because you're denying that early economy for Japan, and that's really where they want to be setting that up for the future of the game. If you get that down, your Fortress Age potential is going to be stronger, because your opponent won't be able to have as many resources available to them to counter it with. Turns out he's not getting the Stagecoach upgrade at all. Well, actually, no, he is. No, he's not a civil servant. Sorry, the image looks quite similar to the rickshaw man, but. He does have does he have any cavalry in queue? Will they be relevant? The question, or is it too late? No cavalry in queue. Oh no, it's not.
There's not. It's too late, I think. But the general problem that we're going to see here, and we'll see it soon, is that when you go for these first card 700 gold builds, you end up with just not enough eco to make good use of your Fortress Age tech. And so, making the 4 X riders also gives you time to send 700 wood to get Stagecoach, maybe a 4 fill shipment, and they're just like the classic French semi-FFs. It feels a lot like that on Su.
Yeah.
But instead, you'll see, he doesn't even have a war hut, so there's not going to be Wakina coming. He does have 2 shipments stacked, though, so... Yeah,
and that's the advantage, right, of doing it faster. I know you say you get up, you could go up more slowly, that's okay, you get that extra shipment out, get that extra wood for setting up infrastructure, and the techs on the trade route, all very nice going into the later game, and make that Fortress Age very strong, and keep it strong. But it does have those shipments stacked up, and that's the advantage of this here. And, all Fortress Age shipments are strong, and they're going to be Su shipments, Fortress Age military shipments. So if he can get these out quickly and perhaps do, maybe impact some lasting damage on his opponent there. But I'm not saying, but this isn't what normally would happen, and this isn't the, I mean, you mentioned the correct build earlier. This is not it. We'll see how this works out for him, this decision of his.
Yeah, the other thing to keep in mind is that Axe Riders are not veteran when you age up, and so he aged slowly with 4 Axe Riders. I think he aged with Axe Riders. He didn't age fast, right?
Which kind of makes sense. If he, whilst he was aging slowly, perhaps he could have sent the 700 wood. Interesting.
Yeah, he could have for sure. He's set up 2 shipments now.
Yeah, he could have sent that 700 wood. That would have been really nice if he'd had that. And aging slowly with the 4 Axe Riders here. I'm not sure if he's going to be able to make use of these extra shipments to the fullest potential. We'll see what happens. He is now running around killing shrines. Unfortunately for him, Japan does have quite a lot of them at the moment. You know, he's actually at 170 population there. So he's, you know, definitely very, very happy with his shrine population. He's now heading up to the Fortress Age himself with the building in the back. I think Japan he's going to be thinking to himself, I'm in a great spot here. I've got all my shrines down. I haven't been contested in any way. And I'm now going to get up to the Fortress Age and match my opponent quite quickly, quite easily. So he's in a good spot. We'll have to see.
He's in a fantastic spot. Like, these cav could be on them. Like, right now, this is like a classic lesson right here. Is like, you've got a huge military and it's just sitting there, and you could be, you know, gaining advantage. And this is why Japan is so strong and like just at this level, just below like the very top. It's just that, you know, just this little moments like these where the army's not doing anything, that Japan is just racking in the cash.
Yeah.
And look at all of a sudden, I look back at Japan's face, and the story looks great for him. You know, he's got double the army that he used to have. He's got a second racks coming up, and, you know, resources are just piling in.
Yep, I'm going to turn on the population graphic now. Blue, admittedly, does have almost double the military units, and that's, but that's not going to stay the same for long, considering it, you know, he's taking
Those
about 15 seconds to get across the map.
Such a good spot. I wouldn't have pulled those villagers at all, man. They were pulling all the rifle rider shots. Damn.
Yeah, well, in the berry bush.
Yeah, Rifle Riders do no damage to the girl. That was good. But anyway, huge fight going down here. Rifle Riders right up in the front. They're taking a lot of damage now from those Union crossbows in the back, though. Even trade here, but I think overall, Japan coming out ahead on this one.
Yeah, I think so as well. It's interesting you mentioned the Vills, because they do have that times 0.5 multiplier. Su getting a good, he's doing some damage, but really, how long, you know, how is the Su going to sustain this? I mean, Japan is probably going to be able to bounce back, right?
Yeah, I mean, this is like, you know, there's one more Axe Rider coming. They're not bad. He's lost. Rifle Riders are super expensive.
Yeah.
Oh, there's 5 more Axe Rider coming now.
Yeah,
so
reinforcements.
What's the shipment? Is it 2? It's not 2 flaming arrows. Surely it's.
If it's 2 flaming arrows, he's clearly lost. No, surely he'd cancel that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe he canceled it actually in favor of sending Ashy now.
Yeah, and maybe that's why it's taken so long for it to arrive.
Jeez.
Yeah, Axe Rider's coming out.
There they are, 8 Ashy, but no veteran from either player. It's just so interesting. And Digit actually has tons of resources. He has no food, and he's got the wood and gold to get fed. So,
yeah.
But he has stabilized, and as I was saying, I think there's a couple of key things that kind of led to stabilizing. One was just not being on top of things enough, but 2 is, you know, Rifle Riders are not really a trainable unit. They cost 120 food and 100 gold, which is really pricey for how fast they die.
Yeah, they don't have very many hit points as well. Very, very expensive unit, but a very strong unit, if you can make use of them effectively, I suppose. But yes, as you mentioned, Japan stabilizes and has, you know, he's got the military there to fend away these cavalry. Actually, Gary is quite good at doing that, and certainly more shipments on the way, and certainly the economy to sustain military production.
Yeah, I didn't mean to flare, by the way.
Oh, I thought you had something to say about that location. I was like, what's this frozen lake doing?
Yeah, there's some ice fishing going on over here. Yeah, DJ Timothy's just trying to clean up some shrines here in Remass, but you know, he's just got a lot of ground to cover from, like as Judah likes to talk about, from an infrastructure perspective. You know, he's got a lot of ground to cover. He doesn't have the Texan, and you know, we're just seeing Japan starting to mass up here, and now Japan's comfortable enough to walk out of his base to start contesting shrines halfway across the map, which is...
And he doesn't care about these 2 shrines. Well, he does a tiny bit, I suppose, but... just a tiny little bit of HP left, but of course he sees the units coming in because of that trading post, and gets them away. Clicks on the shrine, I would imagine, realizes it's very, very low, and then gets away. Is it worth it, though? Yes, I would say so. But if he'd lost perhaps a Rifle Rider, maybe not so much. If you know, just for the sake of going back, just to kill that shrine. Risky play, but you know, deciding to work out there for him. At this point, you know, yes, he cares about those shrines a tiny bit, but you know, he's already got all these massive amounts of resources that are coming in from them, and at this point, they're just buying him time whilst his economy gets even bigger and bigger, and just masses up the units and takes advantage of his big economy. Here, more Rifle Riders, and they're going to be quite effective against you know, this army of Ashigarus.
Yeah, he's going to clean this up, and actually, he's going to clean this up really well. There's no attempt to get the hand attack here, and as a result, all these units are getting cleaned up by the dog soldiers and Axe Riders, snaring them.
Yeah, do you think it was too early to come out? Perhaps stay in base a bit longer, let the opponent just take the shrines, mass up a few more units, and then, have a better composition as well. Of course, adding some Yumi archers, which are very effective against those rifle riders. Here just got pulverized, punished by perhaps the lack of other units in his army. The
Yeah,
counter
exactly.
units.
It would be nice if he had a couple Yumi in there. Usually, you got to mix both because of exactly this type of problem. And I'm not sure though. He has no way of capitalizing on this because rifle riders don't do damage to villagers and they die to town centers. So,
Yeah.
ooh, getting a hand attack, all those units.
Yeah.
Oh no, this is gonna be a costly exchange for him. But at the same time, it did get the dog soldiers past the Ashley, and those are now onto some Yumi archers back there. But even if the Yumi archers just trade with the like this, they just kind of trade with the rifle riders. This is a good spot.
Look at them melting.
I think DJ Timothy is just running out of steam.
I think so, and that's the problem, right? With the perhaps the lack of 700 wood, as you mentioned, the lack of stagecoach, and all of those things. He's just the shipments dry up, and then really, what kind of position are you in? Yeah, you're in the fortress age, but your opponent has 200 population of shrines, just basically 20 factories, mini factories, like churning out resources. Japan's just going to sit here, and his army, he's not really in any particularly way threatened. He's just going to sit here, grow his resource pool, grow his unit pool, and at some point just go, alright, it's time, and then march out and just destroy everything.
Yeah, exactly. And I think he's trying to march out again, and there's no way it could really go wrong for him here. He's still got barrier archers into the TC. A little bit risky here going to this mine, but he has to. I mean, it's not really a risk.
Yeah.
The guy's got 5 rifle riders, so.
That's it. Yeah, you can see all of the enemy army sieging down this. He knows what his opponent's got, unless he's tactically holding back, which would be interesting.
Yeah, this might be our first nerfed bow rider, actually. We've never seen.
The new nerfed bow rider. Yeah, there's certainly a lot less hit points on them. Perhaps where they ought to be now. Here we do have a fight, and I think this one is in favor of the green player in terms of yeah, no, it is.
It is for sure. You can't attack dance your way through that. Unfortunately for DJ Timothy here. And 7 bills, yeah. Dang.
Like he is. Look at that economic unit population, 65 compared to 37, and that less more. Like
Japan's max bills, like he's 10 away from max bills. Right
and
now.
like the population graphic doesn't even show the shrines. Like he's so far ahead, it's not even funny. Like he could do anything.
Oh, it does. It does.
Interjections
calculator. He finally added it. Interjections calculator shows.
Oh, excellent. Okay, it does. So he's actually not as far ahead as
he's at 50. But still 52 bills, so he's way ahead. Though,
yeah, still far enough ahead to just do whatever he wants.
Yeah, but I love interjections calculator.
It's a great button, right? It's like
it
a
feels
meme.
like one of those. Yeah, exactly. It feels like one of those. Like when they had like funny names for like the artifacts in Age of Mythology.
Yeah.
It feels like one of those things. Like you've picked up interjections calculator, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Age of Mythology, the relic system would have been wonderful. And I don't know if it would fit this game, but I'd like to see like an Age of Empires 4 where you remember settlements from Age of Mythology?
Yeah.
Like if Age of Empires 4 ever came to be, I think. Take the home city mechanic from AoE 3, take the relics from Age of Empires 2, take the settlements from Age of Mythology where you could only build town centers in certain locations. I thought that was a very interesting thing about the game.
Yeah. Absolutely.
All of these things that make Age of Empires unique from different games would be great to see in a single game, but the reason I mention all of this is because it's clearly over, and we can see that now. Green does take the win there. Plenty of units in his opponent's base, and Blue can't really do anything, concluding game number 1. Or game number 2 in favor of djigit, so I believe a 2-0 win in this best-of-3 series.
Yeah, exactly. And I think it was a good series. The first game was definitely closer than the second one, but we could see kind of clearly both players had a couple of misconceptions or misplays throughout the game that kind of swung it back and forth. So it was good. It was a good game.
It was. He caught his opponent. Blue caught his opponent, out when he was going out to protect his shrines, and had that rifle rider composition, managed to kill them all. Was there a time where Blue, could have taken this game? I mean, he didn't do any damage to shrines in the early game, and I think that was a big factor in Green's victory here. But was there any critical moments for him where he could have really swung it?
I think the critical moment was the first fight under the town center, where he came in with rifle riders and lost. He lost a lot of them, honestly. I mean, you can't That's the problem with rifle riders is they die so fast. So you'd rather just have Wakina, which outrange everything that threatens them, really, right? So.
Yeah, true, and cheaper to make.
But yeah, in general, if he had found a way to do more shrine damage instead of kind of having that bad exchange in the town center, like after that exchange, that Japan was so comfortable, even more so than they were before.
Yeah. So there is that, concluding this best of 3 series. Thank you very much for watching, everybody. But if you're watching on Twitch, do not go anywhere because there will be more. Well, I guess you can go somewhere, but make sure you come back because there's more coming up. If I flick on over to the overlay, you'll be able to see the schedule. We have games planned all day. And we did have games planned all of yesterday as well. If you missed that, they'll be up on the ESOC YouTube channel. I'm sure when one of the mods hear this, they will plug that link in the YouTube, in the description, in the comments, whatever it is, the chat. You can go and subscribe to that if you want to see more tournament action. Also, subscribe to my own channel